By the end of today's episode, you'll know how to stop questioning your talent and how to get the honest feedback that you need to grow as an actor. Welcome to the Actor's Career Compass, where we help aspiring screen actors find high-quality auditions, sign with great agents, and book major roles in legit productions. I'm your host, Martin Benson, and today I'll be covering why actors rarely get real feedback and how it keeps them stuck, the hidden damage of self-doubt on your auditions and career, and where to get honest, helpful feedback so that you can grow with confidence. Have you ever submitted a self-tape and wondered whether you actually did a good job? Or you completed an audition wishing the casting director would have given you some feedback or at least a hint on whether they liked what you did or not? Most actors are never told the truth about their performances until they've actually booked the job and are working on set with the director. And without that feedback, it can be really hard to get better. The truth is, most casting directors are never going to give notes. And even when you take an acting class, the instructor will often sugarcoat things out of fear of offending. Family and friends, of course, are going to say, "Oh, you were so great." But you know they're either just being nice or they don't actually know what to look for. And so then you're just kind of left wondering, am I actually good? Why won't anyone be honest with me? And this, of course, can cause you to lose confidence because of a lack of certainty about whether your performances are strong or not. You might start to overanalyze every single word you say or even your moments of silence, right? And then this can cause your performances to get stilted and stiff. And whenever you don't book something, you might start to assume the worst. Maybe I'm just not as good as I thought. Then that leads your self-tapes to start to become very cautious and safe, which leads to less authenticity. You stop taking risks or making strong choices because basically you're worried that the choices you might make are going to be wrong. And worst of all, some actors, they start avoiding submitting themselves to productions altogether. Or if it's reaching out to agents and they haven't heard back in a long time or gotten any feedback, they just stop reaching out to new agents because they're like, well, why should I keep doing this work if I'm never going to book anything anyway or get signed by anybody anyway, right? The thing is real feedback, it does take time and care and courage for someone to actually give. Most people, they don't want to hurt your feelings. But of course, without real feedback, nothing is going to change. The thing is actors who grow fastest are the ones who seek out true criticism. These are the actors who want to know what's working, and they want to know even if they don't agree with the critique. And in those cases where they don't agree, they're going to still keep asking questions to try to understand what the person is criticizing them about, and is there something beneath the criticism that they don't agree with, right? Is there a kernel of truth there? They're not going to fight against the feedback. Instead, they're going to thank people who give them negative feedback, and then they'll decide later whether to take in what was said or whether to ignore it. Or again, just to take in a small piece of it and ignore the rest, right? So how do you deal with this? Well, first off, you want to start asking the right people for feedback, okay? So ask a trusted coach or a working, busy actor or even a casting professional who's doing a class where they are going to be giving feedback and are there to provide feedback, okay? Don't ask anybody, what did you think? Instead, ask a question that sort of forces the person to give you real feedback. So for instance, hey, if you had to rate my performance from 1 to 10, with 1 being horrible and 10 being amazing, where it made you really, truly, deeply feel something, what number would you give, right? If they give you anything less than 10, that's perfect for asking for feedback, okay? Most people are going to feel more comfortable saying oh, it's a 9. Even if they felt like it was more like a 5, they're just going to say 9 because they want to make you feel good. And so even if it's a 9, anything less than 10, you're going to ask them, well, what do you think could have made the performance a number 10 for you? And that is where the gold is, right? Because they're going to tell you the specific little tiny things. In some cases, they might be honestly, I don't know, right? fine, whatever. But most people will give you some sort of little bit of critique that if you had just said like, hey, what did you think? They would have been like, oh yeah, it was really good, versus if they're like, oh yeah, it was a 9. And then you say, well, what could have made it a 10? Then they're like, well, maybe this, right? And then they give you some specific note. Now, another thing that you can do to really, improve your acting ability and critique is to watch your own performances from the perspective of the other character who's in the scene, right? So put yourself in the other actor's shoes and ask yourself, if I were the other person in this scene and it was real life, how would the way that my character is saying the lines make me feel? Like, watch your performance and notice if anything would make you, as the other actor, feel off, right? Or feel weird. And that can kind of often tell you like, oh, why did I feel like that there? Maybe something that I said when I was performing didn't like make sense, or would have actually been a weird thing or a weird way to say it if this were real life. Okay. Lastly, you can get into rooms or Zoom classes where feedback is a part of the process, obviously, right? And you can ask other actors for recommendations on which training or classes that they found to be most helpful for improvement, okay? So it's not just, hey, I'm going to take any acting class. It's going to be, hey, I know some other actors. They've probably been to lots of classes. I'm going to ask them which classes did they take that was the most helpful. Because if you just try to sign up for 10 different classes, maybe 4 out of them will be really good and the other 6 might not be a good use of your time. Instead, why not ask other actors, because they're going to be honest with you and be like, hey, this instructor is very honest and they'll give you real feedback. This other instructor is not good. They just kind of BS and say nice things to you. Now, if you're tired of guessing and you want direct supportive help building your skills, I'd love to speak with you. You can book a free discovery call with me through my website, and we'll look at where your acting is really strong, where it's stuck, and how to unlock that next level. I promise that I will give you direct, honest feedbacking, no sugarcoating. Of course, I will be nice about it, but my goal is to get you actually booking those jobs and putting up super strong clips onto your acting profiles that make casting directors and even other filmmakers who are posting jobs and looking at your profile, it makes them want to offer you a self-tape opportunity, okay? So if you're interested in working with me one-on-one, you can learn more about how that works on my website, martinbenson.com. That's MartinBensen. I'd love to speak with you, and we'll see if you'd be a good fit for the coaching program. Thanks so much, and I will see you soon.